And now I would invite Mike Norris, Chair of the Akaroa Civic Trust, to the table. Mike, good morning. Good to see you. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you, councillors, Mayor and Deputy Mayor and Chief Executive. I don't suppose many of you realise that technically any cruise ship entering Akaroa Harbour is entitled to dump treated sewage at level A, which Harry will explain, that is at a level below the wastewater scheme you are planning. It can discharge that in the harbour. If it's level B, which is partially treated, it can discharge it within 3 miles of the coast. If it's untreated sewage, it can discharge it 15 miles from the coast, which is about where our groper hole is, where we like to fish. And these big ships with 3,000 passengers can discharge up to 500,000 litres of raw sewage every day. So when you couple that with, I realise this is not a City Council matter, it's an ECAN matter, but the City Council, Christchurch, New Zealand, ECAN, determine whether to allow ships or not into our community. We're not a port like Littleton, so when a decision has to be made, it seems to be a joint decision between your 3 entities. Coronavirus has tipped the scales, and it means that no longer are cruise ships seen as the white knights riding in with economic salvation. Cruise Association statistics claim that every passenger arriving spends on average between $298 to $400 per person, and therefore give a benefit to the Canterbury economy of $50 million. These figures are highly suspicious because we all know if you ask a cafe owner in Akaroa, he's lucky to get $10 out of a passenger. And the wharfage fee or the mooring fee is about $7. So I don't believe that the Cruise Association propaganda, which says that it's an industry worth $560 million to New Zealand, needs to be believed. And I think we should take a leaf out of the US Department of Congress Transportation Committee when I quote from them. This is a letter written to the chief of Carnival Cruises who own Princess. Cruise ships are a fertile breeding ground for infectious diseases due to their environmental conditions and physical structure. While cruises are often viewed as carefree escape from the reality where passengers can dine, dance, relax and mingle, we would hope that the reality of the COVID-19 epidemic will place a renewed emphasis on public health and passenger safety. But frankly, that has not been seen up to this point. In fact, it seems as though Carnival Corporation and its portfolio of 9 cruise lines, which represents 109 cruise ships, is still trying to sell this cruise line fantasy and ignoring the public health threat posed by coronavirus to future potential passengers and crew. We understand your business and economic livelihood is focused in the entertainment and travel industries, but the realities of the coronavirus pandemic demand that the incentive to entertain is checkered by a responsibility to protect the health of passengers and crew. Unfortunately, recent media reports have called into question Carnival's commitment to that goal. Well, they have now been fined cumulatively $60 million in US courts, even though these ships are not registered in any American port. They're in ports of flags of convenience like Malta, Panama and others, so they are not subject to stringent labour regulation or paying taxes. Yet we welcome these ships into our community as though they are going to bring economic largesse which will save all our cafes. They don't stay in our hospitality, they don't stay in our accommodation. So it's a golden opportunity for us to take a fresh look at mass tourism, as Victoria and Harry have alluded to. And how can the City Council take a stand here? Well, my takeaway is limit the size of all ships coming to Akaroa to no more than 500 passengers. Any bigger ships, once they're allowed to sail again, send them to Littleton, where you've built this very, very lavish terminal, and you'll have some control over them. Use health and safety measures to control access to the wharf. As you have rightly said in the past, you've got very limited powers over what the cruise ships can do. Well, you have a wharf that's needing repair, and it would be a good idea, I believe, for the City Council to examine changing your regulations so that you can restrict the size of ships entering our harbour. Any questions?
Thank you, Mike. There is time for just one quick question, if anybody has one. All right. Thank you very much indeed for your submission.
Well, I hope that between you, ECAN and Christchurch, New Zealand, some major changes can occur in the regulation of cruise ships which happen to be exploiting our community.
Yep. And as you say, we've got the benefit of some downtime that may allow us to do that. So thank you very much indeed for the submission.
We have written a letter to our Prime Minister, which has been copied to the Mayor and the Deputy Mayor and to the Chief Executive. And we've had some amazing traction already from that we hope Simon Upton is coming to Akaroa personally to see what the situation is. So this has to be escalated from local government to national government, and we've done that.
Yep.
Thank
Thank you. Thank you very much.